Good afternoon and good morning, everyone. So welcome to our web series about training and media. This is the third episode of our series, and this episode is called May the Norm Be With You. So today we'll talk mainly about the S6000T and how it is integrated in the S-series specification. I'm Gilles Baudou. I'm a training technical manager in our Directorate of Technical Innovation. And today I'm presenting this episode with Christophe Lestier. Good afternoon, Christophe.
Good afternoon, Gilles. Hello, Christophe Lestier. I'm in the same direction than Gilles, but my domain are ILS for integrated logistics support and ISACE for in-service support. So today we will talk about the S series and the S6000T. I will start by introduce you what is ILS, because most of our public today comes from the training world, I think. So then we will talk about the ASD on the translation of ASD of what is ILS across the S series. Then Gilles will present you what is the S6000T, the object of this meeting, and I will follow with a quick overview what is the common data model and what is the data model in the S series. And we will conclude with a small example, and we will answer to your question. So, what is ILS? ILS is integrated logistics support. This domain have one goal and two ways to reach this goal. Our goal is to find the optimum between the LCC, the life cycle cost, so known as the total cost, the owner total cost, and the operational availability. The operational availability is the availability of your system. So to reach this goal, we have two ways. The first one is to influence the design with dependability tools. Dependability is also known as WAMP. WAMP is reliability, availability, maintainability, and safety. So we typicalize the design of the design office, of the material, to raise the reliability, for example, or the maintainability of the system. Then we also have another way to improve the availability and decrease the lifecycle cost by using LSA tools. LSA tools, logistic support analysis tools, which allow us to build the support system. So in our domain, we talk about a global system. In ILS, we play with this global system. What is a global system? A global system is composed by two systems. The first one, the main system, is your system is a train, it can be a boat, a plane. It's a complex system. We made ILS only on complex system. Complex system is a system with multi technologies and with a very long life, 20 or 30 or 40 years. We don't make ILS on a pen or watch, for example. So the main system, we will apply WAMP methodology on it, and then we will build the support system. So the support system, which is composed of many support elements, and we built this support system in a concurrent engineering. So we built it during the engineering phase of the system, because it's easy to understand why we do this in concurrent engineering, because if ILS come to make their study after the conception of the main system, we cannot criticize it. We can criticize it, but we will not be allowed to modify it. So what is the support system? The support system is composed by 9 logistic products. The first product is a spare parts. Spare parts are parts that you will need to maintain your system. After, you have another logistic product, which is skills. Which skills will you need to maintain or to operate your system, and the quantity of people that you will need to make this maintenance to. After, you have the software support. Software support can be the support of software, but also the software that can support your system, like CMMS, or computerized maintenance management system. After, you have the maintenance plan. The maintenance plan is part of the LSA process, logistic analysis process, sorry. It's in this document that you will find all the maintenance tasks to do on your system, so preventive tasks or corrective tasks. Then you have another logistic product, which are tools, so standard tools or specific tools, but also test tools for test. After, you have the technical publication, so publication for the maintenance manual, for example, or the publication for the illustrated catalog. Also, but you have you can define documentation in format paper or in electronic format also. Then you have the infrastructure. The infrastructure can be sometimes the big tools, very big tools, like overhead crane. On infrastructure can also be the storage building description, how you have to store your material, where you have to store your materials. And then you have the PHST, packaging, handling, storage, and transport, to define how to package, how to handle and store your spare, and are you allowed to transport it by plane or by boat also. And the last element.
And the last item is the training one. So, as Christophe explained, when there is a need to cover support, when there is a need to develop support products, the training is one of the components of this integrated logistics support. As, for example, we have to develop new skills for the personnel. We have to deploy new maintenance plan, and all those activities, they will require training. So, considering training as a logistic support product is very important, as it will allow a coherency between all those products and the information we deliver to the final users. So now let's talk about this ASD and S series. So we mentioned that we define with Christophe all the main activities, main domains of the integrated logistics support. ASD is an organization grouping a lot of several industries. It's it's called the Aeronautics, Space, Defense and Security Industries in Europe. That's the ASD. And this organization is in charge of promoting and supporting the competitive development of the sector, and has decided to build a series of specifications to support the ILS activities in each domain. They made that, they set up this ILS specification with the AIA. The AIA is the equivalent of the ASD in North America, so in Canada and USA. So ASD AIA is a joint transatlantic organization, and it's this organization that will establish this suite of ILS specifications, and specifically the S6000T, about which we will talk more precisely today. So this S6000T is the international specification for training, analysis, and design. It was released in its first version in March 2020, so it's a very new specification. It's the last one of the S series. And the second version is planned to be delivered in March 2020. So for the moment, we will see that afterwards. It's only a partial version, but already usable, but only 2 chapters still need to be developed and drafted. For the moment, it's 386 pages in 8 chapters, and you can find it and download it for free. So it's all those specifications are free. It's on the s6000t.org website of the ASD organization. So back a bit on the methodology, which is behind the S6000T. The methodology behind the S6000T is the ADDIE model. ADDIE for analysis, design, development, implementation, evaluation. So this methodology is composed of 5 phases. The first phase is the analysis. During that analysis, we will define all training stakes and all parameters influencing the training. So taking into account the roles, the different constraints of the organization, the target audience, and so that will allow to define the main training purpose. The second phase is the design phase. During that phase, we will define the learning objectives, we'll structure them in courses and lessons, and we will select the adequate training media. The third phase is the development phase. During that phase, we will produce training material and other training supports. The next phase is the implementation phase. During that phase, we broadcast the training message to the learner. We will conduct training in a classroom, for example. The fifth phase, the last phase, is the evaluation. The evaluation allows to measure the satisfaction of the learners in regards of the training. It will also allow to verify the acquisition of the knowledge by the population, and eventually we can also assess the return on investment, the ROI of a training program. It is important to remind that the S6000T concerns only analysis and design phase. So what is the main purpose of the S6000T? Is to define all levels of requirements and all data necessary to support training activities. So it defines the requirements and also the workflows and the data to be produced. The S6000T, it also defines the relationship between the S6000T and the other specification of the S series. We will see that in detail after this slide presented by Christophe. As I said, the S6000T focuses on the design, on the 2 first phases, so the analysis and design phase, and so it is intended to be used in the training development of all the training we will have to develop during the life cycle of a complex system. So once again, it's a part totally integrated in the logistics support.
So, maybe Gilles, can you explain us the difference between the norm and the specification?
Yes, the difference between a norm or a standard and a specification is the fact that a standard is something that is mandatory to be followed step by step. That's not the case with a specification. Here S6000T is a specification. It's not a norm. So this tool, this specification, ensures and allows to use the same language, use the same process, but we can choose with our counterparts, with our customer, or with the final users, what are the elements, the items of the specification we will use. It's not mandatory to use all steps, to follow all steps, but if we choose a step, at least we know what is the workflow, what is the process, and what is the data model applying to this specific step.
Okay, thank you. So now I will introduce you how the ASD and S series are integrated eyeless. So we have I will show you this drawing, which is the most well-known drawing when you work with ASD. As I said before, we work with the design office, which provides us the design data on the operational requirement, or maybe operational data if we have a similar system which worked before in use. Then we analyze this data to set up a preventive maintenance plan. So this preventive maintenance plan is made by is made regarding failure mode impact on security, failure mode impact on availability, or failure mode impact regarding economical impact. And so we design the support system with the LSA methodologies. In S3000L, for example, we have more than 20 types of studies that we can apply or not, as I say Gilles before, because it's a specification. So we are not do all the 20 studies is not mandatory. So these two first steps at the heart of the S series. The data generated after are exchanged with three other domains. The first domain is the provisioning. Donc the provisioning for the spare parts definition. We will in LSA define the spare part list, for example. But in this domain of provisioning, they will add a lot of information on each part. For one part, for example, you can have sometimes between 50 to 70 data, like the size, the weight, or sometimes the number of parts. For example, the number of parts you will add per packaging. The second domain is technical publication. For example, the maintenance documentation, the illustrated catalog with illustrated part list, on all other type of publication. And the last one is the training. The training also exchange data with the technical publication. We will show that to you after. So again, we have a global system with a good balance between LCC and operational availability that allow our system to enter in service. And it is during this in-service phase that the last specification can be applied. Your system will have maybe some failure, or the user will find some error in the documentation, and all these facts will be exchanged with all domain with the in-service data feedback process. And then this feedback data, which will allow us to upgrade our main or our support system. And to unify the data exchange, we have the SX002B, which is named the common data model. I will focus on the common data model just after. And so all these specifications are held by the SX000I, which is the specification which talking about ILS. It's the specification to unify all other specifications. So it's easy to identify each specification with the last letter. For example, you have the S4000P, P for preventive, so preventive analysis, preventive maintenance analysis. You have the S3000L for the logistic support analysis, L for logistic. Then you have the S2000MM for material, for the spare parts, and the provisioning of the spare part. And you have the S1000DD for documentation, the S6000T for training, and the S5000F for feedback, and the E for integrated logistic support, the SX00E.
So now, thank you, Christophe. Let's make a focus on the S6000T. So, as I explained previously, the S6000T will only concern the analysis and design phase. So, as you have seen, as Christophe explained to us, the S6000T collects data from other S series, like for example, S1000D and S3000L. So that will be the data entry. But after what you have defined in the analysis and design phase and what you have specified to be produced as training material in the development phase, during that development phase of the training, you will follow the S1000D to standardize the production of the training material. So as it is for the technical publication, technical documentation, the S1000D also specifies how we develop the training material. And the evaluation phase will be in a future version of the S5000F. Now, another focus on the analysis phase in itself. So during the analysis phase, we will start by assessing or analyzing the situation. Why do we think that an organization or a unit, for example, a military unit, requires a training? We will analyze what is the evolution that could require training. For example, introduction of a new system, like a new ship, like a new aircraft, like another complex system. And related to this change, what is the mission of this organization, and what will be the jobs, what will be the roles who will be in charge of performing this mission? And in those jobs, in those roles, they have tasks to fulfill. They have tasks to execute. We will identify those tasks and select the tasks which are related, which are candidates for the training, the tasks which are impacted by, for example, this evolution, introduction of an aircraft, a new aircraft. We will analyze those tasks we have selected. So, meaning we make an activities analysis, making an analysis of the jobs and the tasks related to this job. This will allow to specify the training, to define learning objectives later on, which are related to the task of the learners and not to the equipment in itself. That ensures that the training is taking into account the operational context of the learners. The second phase of the second main phase of the training program workflow is the training design phase. During that phase, we start with the identification of the target population. So we will see what are the different criteria, parameters of the target population that can influence the training. So their background, knowledge, the skills they already have, their motivational level, all those aspects, they can have an influence on the training program. Taking that into account, so the learner's profile, we will compare that with the level they need to achieve, they need to reach to perform the task. That's what we call the learning analysis. Coming out of those steps, we have the development of the learning objectives. So with the methodology we have applied, we have justified learning objectives coming from the task, and we know that they are adapted to the learner's population. Once we have the learning objectives, we will develop the assessment strategy. So how we will test that the learning objectives are reached, or we know that the knowledge is acquired. Then we will develop our instructional strategy depending of the different the different constraints and requirements of our program. For example, if it's the training has to needs to be conducted on only one site or on several sites, if we have a very heterogeneous population, if we have different budget constraints and so on, all those things will be taken into account in the design phase also and can influence the instructional strategy. Afterwards, we go for the media, the selection of the media selection. As you know, today we have access to a lot of different media on the market. We know the more classical one, like PowerPoint, to a classroom instructor-led courses for practical exercise on the equipment. But we have also new or innovative training means like virtual reality, like video, like 3D animation, like complex simulator, and so on. So among this panel of media, it's not always easy to select the adequate one, and that's what we will do during that phase of media selection. The next step is the structuring of the learning objectives. So organizing the different learning objectives in courses, modules, lessons that have that are suitable to define training paths to follow. We will also analyze if there are alternatives to our system, so we can then make sure that it's the best option, or we can have, according different constraints we can choose another training system. Just check if there are alternatives. The last steps of this design phase is to define the system, the training system, define the requirements of the training system, and make a summary of all the analysis and design phase into a course curriculum or a course syllabus. In this course curriculum, we will define and we will describe precisely the different training paths. With the training media, we will develop to cover those learning objectives, and with other requirements, other constraints, we will find that in the course curriculum.
So I will talk now about the data model and the common data model. CDEM, the common data model, it's a conceptual description of all data common to two or more specifications. As we see before, the S670 is not alone on exchange with other specifications. S670 has its own data model, but when some data are common with another specification, they are described in the CDEM. For example, the configuration management is used in S3000L and also in S6000T, so you will find the description in SX00I. 002D for SU. Then the purpose of SX002D is to harmonize data modeling and activities and use for this the UML, so Unified Modeling Language. We will see an example after. All the data for the data model of the X6000T is described in chapter 6. 7, sorry. Every specification has its own data model, but not the S4000P, because the result of the S4000P, so the preventive maintenance study, are put in the S3000L data model. So an example of UML, the slide after, please. Next slide, sorry. You have here an example of UF, so unit of functionality. This unit of functionality describe it's a kind of a breakdown of the complete data model. For example, for the S6000T, we have actually 30 UF and maybe more when the specification will be complete. So little example, for example, of coherency for the communication between the specification. For example, you have a new pump with an active magnetic bearing technology that arrive on your system. So we have a new material new technology. So it's let's say we'll analyze the design, for example, and the maintenance plan will be impact with the maintenance task analysis. We will say that there is less maintenance because there is no wear, because we use an active magnetic bearing instead of the kind of bearing. Another analysis, the training analysis, we can say we have a new material, so that means we need new skills to do that material. And another analysis, operational analysis, will identify that this new skill is not in the actual team, so we will need a training. So all this information are transmitted to the training domain, which will make the task selection and analysis, and will choose also which media will be the more appropriate to train our team. And then when the training analysis and the training selection media are made, the data are provided to the technical publication domain, which will create the support for the training. So all support that which Gilles talked about just before. So the interest of ASD is that the data from the design office is used just one time. The design office gives this data to the LSA, which analyzes it, and then after the LSA will transmit this data with added value to the training, which add value to this data to go to the technical publication. It's a principle of unicity of the data that we will apply.
Thank you, Christophe. So as you could understand through all this presentation, there is a lot of data to manage. So using the different S-series specification and the S6000T is not that complicated from a workflow or a process point of view. But what is more complicated is to manage all data and to make sure that it's easy to enter the data and to use this data, to transmit this data. Those data models, as they are a bit complex, they are not easily manageable with Excel or Word documents. That's why for each series specification, we try as much as we can to have a tool dedicated to each S series. For example, the S6000T, we have prototyped a tool which is called Training Designer. That will normally be developed next year in 2021. But today we, as also you know, this specification is quite young, 3 months only. We are now at the stage of a tool on a prototype. But we have other tools which are already existing that we are using in our project. Also, that some of our customers are using in the projects we are involved or not. They are also they bought also those tools. For example, for covering the S3000L, we have ELSA. The tool Teddy is covering the S2000M, and we have a tool dedicated to edition and publication of technical documentation. Is the EVE tool. So to conclude, what I think is important to remind is that the S6000T covers the analysis phase and the design phase of the ADDIE model. So through a training needs analysis activity and all the steps of a training design coming out to a curriculum or a training plan. The S6000T defines the main activities of the training needs analysis and training design, like defining the job and the related tasks, defining the training strategy, identifying a target population, determination of the learning objectives, and selection of the media. And all of those steps are supported with a common data model that ensures that there is a smooth communication between the different S-series specification and between the different domains of the ILS. So thank you very much for your attention. We are at the end of our presentation. We have no time to answer the questions, and we have a first question from Mr. Domeon. The question is the next one. What are the main differences, if any, between S6000T and the SAT specification, as it seems to handle the same phases? So I will answer. So we know the SAT specification, so the systems approach to training. Systems approach to training, indeed, sir, is based on the ADDIE model also. So this model, it's used in other methodology. Is used in other methodology. For example, in Navetra, a part of the Navetra methodology is also based on ADDIE. In SADL, systems approach to defense learning, it's also based on this methodology. So we have to make the difference between a methodology and this specification. It's true that there is a methodology behind this specification, which is the ADDIE, but the S6000T, it focuses on only the analysis and design, because the other step of the methodology, like the development, is handled by the S1000D. The implementation, there is no specification to conduct the training so far. Maybe it will come once, but for the moment it's not the case. And the evaluation phase, it will be covered later on in the next version of the S5000F, F for feedback. So the S6000T is not a methodology, it's a specification, so it gives guidelines and recommendations for the analysis and design phase, as the SAT does. But now we have, let's say, because SAT is not used and it's not a common view so far, but we hope that with S6000T we have a common view on the process, as we have different expertise from different continents, from USA, from Canada, from Europe, working together to have this S6000T. And also the biggest difference between the S6000T and the SAT specification is that in the S6000T we have a data model, things that we don't have in the methodologies I just mentioned previously. I hope I answer your question, Mr. Doméon. If not, I encourage you to take contact with us by email. Here is you can see here on the screen our contact data. There is another question. The question is if we have already used this S6000T on a specific project. Christophe, would you like to answer this question?
So yes, today the S6000T is not used on the project. We use AD methodology for a program, analytical program. But this specification is quite new, just 3 or 4 months, I don't remember. So there is no customer that apply it today, but we have some demand, some customer in the Navy that ask us to train them on this new specification because they maybe will apply it.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Christophe. Are there any other questions? I don't see any for now. So I think we come to the end of this session, of this episode. Just would like to thank you for your interest in our web series. There are still 4 episodes to come until end of July, every Thursday at 4 p.m. The next ones will be about training media, about e-learning, about virtual reality, and so on. So thank you again for your presence today. Thank you, Christophe, for your valuable support in this webinar, and I give you the floor for the final word.
Thank you, Gilles, but your conclusion was just perfect, was perfect. So I let you have a good evening or good morning regarding your country. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.